Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast on a big day here at CHGO. It is our second birthday.
Happy birthday, CHGO. Let's go.
You could start with the
emotion. Carm's speechless. Carm's so speechless.
I am. I want you to start with your emotions on this birthday. You've always been an emotional birthday guy, 2 years in.
Yep, last year you guys didn't even remember my birthday.
I mean,
how much I care about it.
I don't remember anybody doing anything for my birthday.
I was covering what game? I don't even remember. The Bears were playing
except
somebody
for that amazing thing that you guys did for my birthday.
Yeah, when you all dressed
up as me. Maybe my greatest moment in CHGO history. The first and only time I felt like, oh, you guys kind of maybe like me. That was so nice.
In all seriousness, we did make it 2 years, and we are very appreciative to all of you watching, listening, reading, becoming diehards. We wouldn't be here without you. We wouldn't be at the NFL Combine last week giving you all that coverage that we did. And we thank you very, very much. And to celebrate our second birthday, you may notice the T-shirts, if you're watching on YouTube, that we are wearing. We got a brand new Chicago collection that we dropped today. We got even more options than what just we're wearing right now. Look at these. I love this. First of all, I love this logo of... I don't know. Am I allowed to say what we ripped it off of or not? I don't know what the rules are here, but let's just say it's Chicago. It's very Chicago.
You just stumped the general manager.
The CHGO Transit Authority.
Oh, the CHGO Transit Authority.
Love it.
Hey, man, the band Chicago ran into a real problem with this back in the day. You never know.
Listen,
sorry.
That's why they're called Chicago and not Chicago Transit Authority.
We're here to give
what they originally were. There's a history lesson for you people that are Carm's age.
We're here to give good publicity to all forms of communication and transportation on this show. So I think it's a big job by us.
We got plates, we got balloons, we got cookies that we're all celebrating here today.
I was so focused on being just the diet was the number one thing on my mind. Already ruined. That's okay.
I stayed disciplined and did not get one. Just saying.
Good job, Nick.
Well,
but
clearly you guys don't love our company as much as I do.
There you go.
Yep.
Hoge eating. Hey, big show today, Hoge.
Very good. Yeah. So, happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to all of you that have been following along this entire time too. Go check out the merch, chgolocker.com. And really, what we're trying to get to, and I think we could do it today. I don't know about the end of the show, but maybe by the end of today, it's very much possible. And we could greatly use your help. And that's our quest to get to 50,000 YouTube subscribers, which we brought up all last week. And I still do have this previously unknown information on Greg Braggs Jr. to share with you all when we get to 50K. So if it doesn't happen by the end of this show, if it happens later today, we'll share it on tomorrow's show. But we have it ready to go.
It's shocking.
And we need you. Yeah, I've started to share this internally, and people are stunned. So I'm just being honest about it. So please subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, if you're here for the first time for some reason, you're catching one of our videos, whatever, hit subscribe. Please send the link off to a Bears, any fan, Cubs fan, White Sox. We have shows for all Chicago sports teams. Make sure they know about us. Hit that subscribe button. I think we're like 280 was the last count. I mean, there's a small chance we could get it by the end of the show if we get your help, and we greatly appreciate it. So I will share that information. And for diehards, what do you get today? Well, my post-combine newsletter came out this morning for CHGO Diehards. Everything I learned about Caleb Williams and Justin Fields at the combine. We're going to be talking about some of this in the show as well today. And do we have new diehards?
We do. We're going to do them at the end.
Okay.
I'm liking the way that's processing because, we love you so much.
Bring it back around. I like it too.
I want to give you the full time and the full effort. and there's a lot going on. Shout out to everybody who did a great job at the Combine covering. Hoge, your Die Hard article today is a phenomenal read, as is Albert Breer's. Hoge versus Breer to start the week.
Last week it was Hoge versus Peter King. Now it's Hoge versus Breer. I don't really think it was a competition.
No, he killed you, but
it's the second straight week. The stuff I had in my thing, it felt good that it was validated by somebody way bigger than me in the business.
Well, he had extra time.
Be honest.
He had extra time down there. You had to come back on
and
Friday.
Apparently access.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
right. It seemed like he had somebody who he's very good friends with telling him a lot of things, and he reported all of that back. I have no idea who that person could possibly be, but.
Let's talk about those. Some very, we appreciate the birthday shout-outs coming in right now with our Super Chats. We will go through Super Chats a lot later in the show, but Craig, thank you for that. What? Chesterton?
Say what?
Indiana? I don't know.
You don't know
I was going to guess
Chesterton?
England, so I don't know.
I was thinking it was probably overseas, but
I mean, it's a phenomenal Chesterton. There's great people there. Craig is one of them.
I saw in our graphic that we put out today, which was an incredibly awesome graphic. 49 countries represented.
That's awesome.
That's
CHGO
big time
right now. That felt pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I do know there's some breaking news that we already knew for months now. Not months, over a month? I don't know, whatever. But Jason Kelsey did officially retire just moments ago. For those that
Great career.
Kind of felt like he was already retired. But
and all I know about that is that just opens up the door for the next great Hall of Fame center to enter the league and be on the Chicago Bears a month and a half from now. Something like that.
There you go.
All right.
All right, let's talk about Albert Breer's piece. There was some interesting stuff in here.
We'll take one birthday gift super chatter. Let's give just a true MVP, Hoge, before we get to Breer. I mean, Crystal supports us in ways that literally nobody else has ever supported us. The most positive person. Can we give her that? Most positive, always there, dedicated, diehard, attendee, chatty. Has diehard Justin Fields, but is like somehow is like handled this whole time.
Yeah,
I think better than 99%. And then Crystal saying, "This is my gift to you, celebrating 2 years. I am the football person amongst my family and friends, so you all help me not be the loner. Thank you all for everything you do for Bears fans and media. Love you all and always." Hashtag Team Carman. I didn't even know those on there, by the way. Thank you, Crystal.
Such a nice message. Thank you so much.
But seriously, like throughout this, Caleb, Justin. Bears time. Crystal's been awesome. So
I mean, I don't think she agrees with anything we've had to say on the topic, but she still supports us.
It's amazing.
That's why she's
great.
true diehard and why we appreciate her the most.
I think she actually understands that we all like Justin and that there's nothing against
which is
Justin.
What it should be.
And that we all are hoping that Justin has goes on and has a great career. And
that mostly we're just sort of reporting and preparing everybody for the inevitable, which brings us to Albert Breer's piece.
Yes.
Which is in some ways some unprecedented information that I found particularly interesting, and we're going to start with that, which he started in his lead. Go check it out, SI.com, Albert Breer's Monday column, which has become a must-read every week.
Matt Vernon is the best man at SI, even though Breer's amazing. Okay, fine, he's a friend of mine. Keep going.
So check out our Matt Verderam interview from last week as well. The Bears wanted to bring Caleb Williams into Hallis Hall tomorrow, as in Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was particularly interesting to me, in part because Caleb refused to do, I don't want to say refused, let's say declined, although refused, it's probably interchangeable here in this situation. Did not do medicals for any teams in Indianapolis. And is saying, I'm just going to do those at the top 30 visits. Now, if you're the Bears, and we know how teams are, they are particularly sensitive and anxious when it comes to players' medical history. Mm-hmm. It's a big topic for Michael Penix this week in Indianapolis.
Sure.
Where it's very important for teams to get a look at Michael Penix, who's gone through a number of different injuries and appears to be on the other side. And if teams are comfortable with his medicals, there's a greater chance he goes earlier than later in the draft. For Caleb Williams, hey, man, I'm going to be the number one pick. Why do I need to go through 32 physicals?
Got a point.
If you're interested enough in getting me that you're going to burn one of your top 30 visits when you know realistically you're probably not going to get me, that's where I'll do physicals. Now, we heard from some people, including Jim Miller on Friday's show, that had a big problem with this. I have zero problem with this. I totally understand. Like most most prospects benefit from giving teams, as much information as possible. Caleb's not in that position.
He's not, but I just think it's super interesting. And take your time over there, Hoge. I've been there. I love to, just suck on that for a while. It's great. It's a pacifier. You got to go. That's what you got to do. Yes, drink, whatever. Y'all get. Okay, you leave too. I'll talk. Listen, I think it's interesting. Very, very interesting that Caleb Hoge's left the show. This is what we do. I will handle this. Happy birthday to CHGO. Happy birthday to me. You recover. Look, he is going to do things knowing that he has leverage, power, talent, all the things. So that, and I'm sure the Bears have realized this, or at least I hope they have realized this. That's not going to change once he gets in the building, Nick. He's going to continue to push the envelope and go about this in different ways than any other Bears quarterback. This is not going to be Mitchell Trubisky doing everything that the Bears want him to do. I think he's going to be a phenomenal teammate and all that stuff, but I do think this is just a different cat. Hoge is coming back.
Okay.
And you guys are like 6-year-olds.
No.
You know what you said.
I know what I said.
No, I am a 6-year-old. That's why I laugh.
That's there we go. Thank you.
I'm also grabbed a Miller Lite because we're obviously going to need it to get through the show.
There we go. Happy birthday. You bought one solo?
Yeah, well, you can hear
messed
yours.
up.
Okay, fine. But did you hear what I was saying? The brilliance that I was just putting out there?
Probably not.
This dude's different, man. He's going to be different. He's different now, and he's going to be different when he's here. And I hope the Bears are ready for a different cat, because this is a guy that's trying. His goal is to be the greatest quarterback of all time. No quarterback has ever come in or saying anything close to that.
That's a breath of fresh air in itself. But also, like, for Caleb Williams, I don't know, like, Adam, I don't know if you know this, but I don't know how long these physicals take, but he's got a point. Like, why does he have to go through that process every single time for every team when realistically, like he said, only one team can draft him? And it's most likely going to be the top one of one with the Bears, but there's no reason for him to really do that. Again, it doesn't really benefit him in any way because of his status where he's already at coming into this process. So,
and again,
I'm good with it.
And it's not like the Bears aren't going to get his medical information.
Exactly.
They are. When he comes to Hallis Hall, which is why for the Bears, I understand, let's move this thing up. Let's have him come in on Tuesday. Now, apparently, based on what Breer reported, and somewhat understandably so, Caleb Williams, he either could have stuck in this area for a couple days to come to Hallis Hall. The quarterback workouts ended Saturday night. I think that was his last obligation in Indy, so he probably flew back to L.A. yesterday. So now he's going to fly all the way back out to Chicago on Tuesday. So they decided to concentrate next steps to that pro day on March 20th. So apparently this visit's going to happen a little bit after that pro day later on in the month, which just creates it's one more box to check. Caleb Williams, though, did have a somewhat significant hamstring injury that he was playing through 2 years ago at USC. Now, to be honest, that's when I first started falling in love with this kid. Because if you watched any of those late Pac-12 after dark games 2 years ago, you could tell he was grinding, that he was not 100%, and he was forced to play from the pocket even more so than he did last year, and he did a pretty damn good job of it. So that was like the first time where I was like, wait, I remember even checking, is he draft eligible now? Oh, no, we got to wait another year. Because that was really when I was really impressed with him. So that's where it stands with the visit. But that's just one of many little nuggets that Breer had in this piece.
Let me just ask one more question about the visit. The Bears wanted him to come now so they can have more clarity, so they can, if they are going to move on from Fields, trade him before free agency. Him not coming, do you think that impacts that at all?
Well, this gets back to a piece that I take this Breer that I had in my piece.
Take that.
It's more of a conclusion I made from number of conversations last week rather than someone directly telling me this. But I went into Indianapolis thinking the Bears are going to draft Caleb Williams. I left Indianapolis thinking the same thing. What I didn't expect to leave Indianapolis with was thinking that plan B is not keep Justin Fields. Plan B is draft a different quarterback if they come off with Caleb Williams. It's not trade the number 1 pick and keep Justin Fields. It's trade the number 1 pick and draft a different quarterback. Now, I'm not saying Fields isn't in there somewhere, but that was a newer development to me that I didn't necessarily expect. And what that tells me is that keeps you open to the idea of, or allows the Bears to trade Justin, even if they don't have every piece of information they possibly need on Caleb Williams.
Right.
But I get the sense that this Caleb Williams, going back to our headline on today's show, this Caleb Williams evaluation is close to done. They need they'd like a little bit more interaction with him in person, which will come with the visit and maybe some type of dinner around the pro day. And then they need the medicals. They need that physical to happen. But the what if that doesn't go well, where I sit right now, and again, I didn't expect to sit here, and I'm not even saying I agree with it. Okay? Make that perfectly clear. But I think plan B is trade number 1 pick, draft a different quarterback, rather than trade number 1 pick, keep Justin Fields.
I think that what if scenario, though, for people who are in our chat right now, would probably scare a little bit of Bears fans, because then the idea of not having, say, something comes up with Caleb Williams and getting somebody else, that is a scenario that I don't think a lot of Bears fans have actually considered.
We haven't talked about that much.
Yeah, because it's all been Caleb Williams, and that's about it. So I think that would be a scenario that would be pretty shocking. But again, they're going to have these meetings with Caleb. They're going to have these dinners with Caleb. They're going to meet Caleb, and hopefully everything checks out, because that is a scenario that not a lot of people have given a lot of thought to.
Let's give you a little bit more insight, too, from Breer on the some of the information he got on this evaluation. So when I say the evaluation's close to done, here's what's been done. This is straight from the piece. Polls directed evaluators to ask about the 2022 Heisman winner when they interviewed Oklahoma or USC players. This was out on the road this year. So out on the road this year at, when they would go out and scout wherever they were. Polls was telling them, ask about Caleb Williams. The returns there were good. Sometimes you can get awkward pauses. Let me give you an example of that. Jackson Smith and Jigba on with us at the Super Bowl would be an example of an awkward pause. Yes. When you ask somebody about someone and they don't particularly love them. If players are lukewarm or teammates they're asked about, they might give an awkward pause. It was the opposite in this case. The mention of Williams' name brought about a lot of smiles, which, by the way, is the exact same reaction we've had when we've asked people on or off camera when we've come in interaction with them over the last couple of months when we've had a lot of these interviews. Everyone seems to be
glowing,
loving Caleb Williams.
Well, and the thing that I think they love about him is what he underlined when he was talking to the media. And then we heard about on Saturday night, last guy to leave the field, thanking all the combine workers for being there and facilitating everything that went on. That's a guy who's showing that he gets it. Yep. Is he doing that because he's trying to further cement that I should be the number 1 pick? It doesn't feel like that, because you're hearing from guys who have known him this long, and they're singing his praises. And here you're seeing it. So this huge concern that the locker room is not going to be able to adjust / fall in love / respect their new quarterback. I mean, he made it pretty damn clear that he's going to be all about connecting with those guys.
Maybe I can be completely wrong, but just his press conference that he gave at the NFL Scouting Conference, he comes off as genuine to me. And again, this is in a setting where he's trained for this moment, but just the answers he was giving, how it started with the crazy question, but he just seems like a genuine guy, and obviously that resonates with his teammates that we've gotten a chance to talk to.
And I think this is one of the most important developments that we've seen since Friday. And apparently it goes back to Wednesday night, 10:40 p.m. Breer had the exact time of the interview.
I wonder how he got that. The exact time.
We probably could have gotten it too if we just asked.
Okay, maybe we could have. Maybe we could have. We probably could have.
Well, I mean, knowing that it was Wednesday night was good enough for me, but I guess that's those are that's why you get the big bucks to ask those details. Chicago had its formal interview with Williams in the suites of Lucas Oil Stadium. Poles was joined by the 5 people who are the point men in the Williams evaluations process. Now, this I found interesting. Flus, Shane Waldron, new passing game coordinator Thomas Brown, assistant general manager Ian Cunningham, and team president Kevin Warren in the meetings. What they saw from Williams in that setting was an easy confidence, a player who was very comfortable in his own skin and not concerned much with what other people thought of him. That last part is key because the Bears have tried to drill down on making sure the person they pick first can handle the pressure and spotlight of the Chicago market. That is enormous. And I want to go back to, again, these are first impressions. But every little thing I witnessed of Caleb Williams in Indianapolis, which goes back to the day before he talked when I, had the pleasure of watching Mark Silverman harass him in the hallway. That's not exactly how that happened, but that technically is one example.
Great job by Sylvie.
And Sylvie's told the story on ESPN 1000. I heard this last week. Like, there's an aura around him. Like, literally just watching him walk around. But everything from that little interaction to seeing him walk around Indy to the way he answered the first question in that press conference, which I saw that guy bragging on Twitter about, the guy who asked that question.
Getting dunked on right now.
Okay, dude. Congrats to you. All that did was kind of, I guess I should thank you because it kind of has given us ammo to prove the point of what the Bears actually need to see here, which was how does he handle moments like that? How does he handle all the criticism? And even to his answer that Braggs asked him about him crying after that game. He's checking all these boxes. He's giving the right answers to seeing him interact with Brendan Rice during Brendan Rice's press conference. These are the same questions I had too. We know Fields is handling this market okay, much better than Mitch Trubisky did. And that is a real fear. If you move on from that guy that you know can handle it, how is Caleb Williams going to handle it? But this dude's been in the spotlight now for 3 years, especially the last 2 in Los Angeles. Everywhere in Indianapolis that he went, he was dealing with it the other day. And it's only going to continue to get brighter. So if he walked into that meeting on Wednesday night and passed that test, that is an enormous development for the Chicago Bears.
No question. And look, again, different cat. And this is not a shot at Justin, even though some of you may hear it this way. But I'm thinking about one instance this year. Justin talks at the podium, says it could be coaching, this and that, and then an hour later he's apologizing. Didn't mean that. Please listen to the whole thing. Don't take things out of context. He didn't need to apologize at all at the time, but he felt like he had to. Caleb Williams, I don't see that guy ever apologizing for anything he says. It's just this guy is just gonna, he's gonna stand on his. There's just a little bit difference in his confidence and his. I'm not going to be worried about something that I say at all. I don't know how to better to underline it, but it's just a different cat.
Which quickly, I want to touch on this because I think it's important. I'm curious what people think about Kevin Warren being in on these meetings, but I'm glad he's there. Mm-hmm. And the reason is because I think if we're being honest, the Chicago Bears themselves are to blame, at least partially, for the environment that some of these top quarterbacks, namely Mitch Trubisky and Justin Fields, have lived in, perhaps to their own detriment at times. And I'm not just talking about scheme. I'm talking about the entire setup around them at Hallis Hall. And I know for a fact that this is something Kevin Warren's worried about right now. Not necessarily worried about, but working to make sure that the entire infrastructure is there in place to handle a kid that, quite frankly, this is where I get a little uneasy in my own words because I don't want to set our expectations too high. But we're talking about perhaps the biggest superstar that's ever played.
Yeah.
And if not the biggest, if you're going to start like having, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about best player. I'm talking about how they're recognized nationally, in the spotlight, in the conversation all the time. Since what? Walter Payton?
That would be the correct answer. I mean, yeah.
And that's a heavy burden. That's a big deal. And it's not just on Caleb to deal with it. It's on the Bears to help him deal with it too. And so I'm just saying, this is all part of this big thing. And honestly, that part of it falls a lot on Kevin Warren. So if people are asking why Kevin Warren's in these meetings or part of this process, and I don't know if he's going to the pro day or not, but I would say maybe he should. I don't know how many team presidents are flying around the pro days, but this might be a situation where it's warranted. I mean, this is a big deal. I hope people understand this is a big freaking deal.
Listen, let's just underline this for 1 second, because everyone talks about curses and whatnot, and was the most famous, of course, being the Cubs in 108 years. Of course, there are no curses, but there is pressure when you haven't won for that long. It's you can feel it in the stadium. The energy is real, and when your best quarterback in the history of the franchise played from 1939 to 1950 and led the league in passing 3 times, that your all-time leading receiver played in the 50s and 60s, led the league in receiving yards 1 time. When you're dealing with all of that, there is going to be more pressure on the position, and the spotlight is going to be enormous. Throw in the Bears, throw in Chicago, throw in 1985. So it's a lot to handle. And Fields did a great job handling it, and Mitch did a decent job too. This guy, that spotlight is going to be even larger because you're moving on from Justin, and he's the number 1 overall pick, and he's said all that he said about wanting to be great and generational and the best of all time. So that spotlight's going to be huge. How the Bears support him is going to be huge. But again, it's like, to me, it's the history of the position and the franchise that all plays into the pressure that any quarterback is going to step into when they have that, let alone the number 1 overall pick.
But the thing, like with Caleb, he doesn't shy away from it. Like, he said all those things at his press conference. Like, he wants to have a Jordan-esque type of career. He's saying that.
Immortal.
Immortal. Like, he's putting the pressure on himself, and it's because I think he knows he can handle it. I mean, he's been doing this at USC, being in the spotlight, wanting to be the number 1 overall pick in this draft. He's in a position to do that exact same thing. So for him to put himself in that position willingly, I mean, that just tells you all you need to know about Caleb Williams and his makeup and what he wants out of himself.
It's a lot to say it, though, too. It's another thing to, like,
for sure,
he doesn't know exactly how he's going to be living it. This is going to feel different, and I don't think he's quite aware of it. How could he possibly be?
Look, and I understand this change can be difficult, for some Bears fans to accept, but sometimes things need to change. One thing that doesn't?
What's that? Hoge?
Great taste of Miller Lite. It was the original light beer, and to this day, it's still the best one. Quite frankly, I'd like to thank Miller Lite for helping me get through the show, because it was dicey there for a minute. But I'm experiencing the great taste of Miller Lite right now.
That is a great drink to blank on. Keep going. Drink on.
Okay.
Emma.
This guy. Miller Lite has more of the taste you want, less of the stuff you don't, like Carm's comments sometimes.
I love you, Miller Lite.
In a very weird way. The moments in life matter the most with Miller Lite. I think, like the draft night. I have a feeling.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be one of those big moments.
Big night for Miller Lite.
And Miller Lite's going to be there to help us along the way. It's always the best. We got St. Patrick's Day coming up. You're going to want Miller Lite to help you get through that. You can't see it on the screen right now unless Steven can put, by the way, himself up on camera. I'm not sure, but he has a great new green CHGO shirt too.
Woof.
I know.
Sweet.
But I'm just picturing I'm picturing Steven wearing that shirt on St. Patrick's Day with an ice cold Miller Lite in his hand.
Perfect.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or 2 in my hand, either one.
It's just it's a great pairing. Miller Lite keeps it simple, like that shirt. Undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. A light beer that tastes like beer. Less filling, only 96 calories. Original light beer since 1975, no matter how your team changes. And it's going to change here. you can always enjoy the great taste of Miller Lite. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football. That's right, MillerLite.com/CHGO football, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces.
Check out Miller Lite. And you have to check out Empire today. You get shop at home convenience, just like Miller Lite. The right products for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. With Empire today, of course, you get the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, they're going to have some copycats, but they can't beat Empire on the quality, service, speed. So they advertise low-quality products. They simply won't carry. They won't promise the lowest prices, because anyone who does that is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs. And look, they keep shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection. Empire's philosophy is to help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. What they leave out on the selection floor is as important as what they put in. And they have their own virtual floor designer, which is a great way to see how new floors will look in any space. It's super easy. All you do is snap a picture and instantly see how new floors will look in the room you're trying to upgrade. And you can schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use that promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/CHGO for details.
All right. We keep our second birthday rolling here. I saw that photo pop up. Do you want to show that now, Steven? Okay, so we've had an appearance. I was wondering what Nick was looking at over my shoulder. Long-time listeners, viewers.
Kevin, my guy.
Know our guy, Kevin. I like to call him Naked Guy because he likes to sit shirtless outside on that very patio you're seeing on the screen right now. Haven't seen him a whole lot lately, because it's been cold in winter and stuff and hibernation. But look at this sign outside the patio door. Yep. Hanging off the balcony. Happy second birthday, CHGO. Love. What does that say?
It's a shirt with a circle and a slash through.
Shirtless guy.
Yeah.
And we all have different names for him. Some go shirtless. I go naked guy.
I actually call him by his name, Kevin.
You call him Kevin.
And I love to.
All we know is he's one of our biggest supporters, and that's awesome that he's hung that sign outside his balcony.
Yeah, as I was looking at you, I'm like, oh, wait. Attention's being diverted. That's awesome. Let me take a picture. And
was he hanging it? Was that why you were looking at it?
No. I just saw it. Yeah, I saw the big
You
CHGO there. So
drink your Miller Lights at the store. Great spot to do it.
Fantastic. By the way, we are inching towards 50K subscribers. I know we've added about 15 or so since the show started. We could do better than that. Let's go.
I got the live counter. I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Every 100, I'll let you guys know.
Live counter. I like this.
By the way, if anyone's wondering where Braggs is right now, he's playing golf.
Loser.
I wouldn't call him a loser. I'm actually very jealous.
I would, because he's playing terrible, and he's embarrassing himself, and he's boasting about it, and he's sending me rude tweets at 4 a.m.
What's wrong with that guy? Come on.
I mean, just a problem individual.
He's in the chat. Braggs in the stands. Actually,
by the way, that question mark there in the comments that he's put up on that we're putting up on the screen right now, that's actually what he wrote down on his last hole on the golf course for the score.
Yeah. There's a square around it, so it's at least a bogey.
Yeah.
Do you think that
shots fired?
I don't know how many times I plan on playing golf with that guy this summer. Probably once, but do you think he'll ever be able to beat me in a round of golf? And I stink at golf.
No, I don't. However, I will say I got news for you on this. Totally off topic. Ooh. I want you to know that you have been invited by James Hoge to play golf.
All right. I'm in.
Because we were driving by the golf course. This was actually a couple weeks ago. I forgot to tell you this. And he goes, do you think we can play golf with Mark Carman again?
That's amazing. My guy.
Said your full name, which I don't even do.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, is James coming out Saturday night?
That's the plan.
Okay, there it is. Let's go.
That's the plan. All right, I want to keep this rolling here with Albert Breer. So we also have Nick's got 5 free agents that he's going to tell you about too that he's targeting, and we are getting to that point. It's a week away that we're going to be doing a live free agency show with the negotiation window opening. A couple more nuggets though from this Albert Breer story. Cliff Kingsbury, you guys know that the Bears interviewed Cliff Kingsbury for the offensive coordinator opening, as we suspected. We thought that interview had much to do with Caleb Williams learning information on him as maybe actually giving Cliff Kingsbury the job. Albert Breer writes, Kingsbury described the player beloved by his coaches and teammates, also gave the Bears very real insight into Williams' father and how involved he was. The quarterback's dad, Kingsbury told them, was sharp and someone that Williams leaned on a lot business-wise, but the father left the football part to his kid. Kingsbury explained to Chicago he saw the dad maybe once last year at USC's practice facility.
That was my favorite highlight of that one. He came to practice once. That is not somebody who's overstepping his bounds at all.
Which is what I reported in my Caleb Williams story early, last month when we Super Bowl week, which was every coach I've talked to says that Caleb Williams' father does not get involved in the coaching, does not interfere. He lets the coaches coach. He is the business guy. He wants the best for his son, but he is not a meddler in the football stuff. That's a very important thing.
It is.
Because this is something that I can tell you NFL coaches aren't going to put up with if it's happening. So to know that it didn't happen at previous levels of football he played at, despite him being perceived as this big persona that's in the way, that tells me that any team that drafts him is going to be comfortable with the situation.
I think his dad just he understands, here's how I can help Caleb off the field. Again, the brand and, just getting that. You can keep elevating that part, but I'll let Caleb, my son, do everything on the football field. That's how it should work. And look, he's just a father trying to help out his son in a very important part of his life right now.
One of my favorite pieces of content that gets put out there is over the Players Tribune. They did a letter to my younger self, and it always, a lot of times the parents are involved in what they did to help a kid get there. And there's some really tender spaces that athletes look back on in their 20s, what their mom or their dad did when they were 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. Carl Williams, man, hey, you want to do this? Let's create the breakfast club. Let me get you a training facility. Let me get you actual coaches to work with. I mean, this guy went above and beyond for his son to help him allow him to have a chance to live his dream. I'm sure he's not a perfect parent. There aren't any perfect parents out there. But this does not seem like a Todd Marinovich situation. He seems way more grounded. So I give a ton of props to his dad. And he's got his son's going to be the number one pick in the draft. That's a hell of a job there.
That's the funny thing, as I did as much research as I could about Carl. I kept getting, here, okay, he put him in one of the top prep schools in the D.C. area. It was a great fit for him, both academically, as a person, and schematically, too, which was something I learned, that fit him better than some of the other programs out there, like DeMatho, that was described to me as the Alabama of that area. Instead, he goes to Gonzaga Prep. Okay? Did it work out? Well, I don't know. He'd offer from pretty much every school in the entire world. So I'd say so. He could pretty much go wherever he wants. Then he lands, he does all that whole thing where he, interviews with every school in the world, ends up at Oklahoma, where he knew he wasn't going to start right away. He's dealing with Spencer Rattler, who, by the way, is also in this draft and is probably going to go in the later rounds.
Had an okay combine, too, Spencer Rattler.
By the time he knows he's not starting there, but by the time they're playing Texas later in the year, he comes in because he's the better quarterback. Some people you talk to say they knew that at spring football that year because he enrolled early. He was enrolled at Gonzaga and Oklahoma at the same time. I didn't even know you could do that, but he was. So, now the head coach leaves after a great freshman season where he leads this amazing comeback against Texas. Things are going great. Lincoln Riley leaves. Now his father's got Zoom calls with 25 different schools that want him to transfer. And in the end, as much as they were kind of bothered by the fact that Lincoln Riley left without telling them, now he's at USC. And basically the only step of this that didn't go great was this past season. And now he's getting killed for it. Oh, this guy doesn't win enough. Dude, this guy's won everywhere.
Did you see his defense?
And every decision his dad has gotten involved in to help him has been a good one. And now what's the next one? Being the number one pick in the NFL draft. He won the Heisman. The only thing he didn't win was the national championship, which is why he was crying that day.
It's a team game,
because it's the only goal he hasn't really reached. And I don't understand why people can't understand that. So now he's going to be the number one pick in the NFL draft, and all he's doing with all these decisions and even things like apparently moving this meeting that was supposed to be at Alice Hall on Tuesday is trying to put his son in the best position to nail every single one of these steps that he's going through. I don't know how people can be mad about this.
He's in a pretty good position right now to really nail all those steps that they've been trying to accomplish.
If you want to be a glass half full, which we're doing a lot of today with Caleb, and which I'm completely comfortable with, why not?
Well, because that's how the combine unfolded.
Right.
True.
So, but look, it's probably sure it would have been great if he had won a national championship that would add on to it. But there is value in the fact that he went through a year where he struggled and didn't win a whole lot and had to live through that. Because, look, I mean, I hope the Bears make the playoffs next year, but that's obviously not a for sure thing. So how can you handle going through it and staying positive and all that stuff? Maybe it'll be a benefit to him.
By the way, the last nugget from the story I wanted to share was that apparently the Bears contingent met with Caleb Williams' team Friday night in Indianapolis, too. A little disappointed that Braggs wasn't there.
I mean, we left him down there.
What's he doing?
And I've made this point before. I think Bragg should be in these meetings.
He was too busy washing Waddle's car, making sure that it was perfect for his drive home back home.
We just want to make sure Caleb knows what he's getting into.
Yeah.
And Bragg should be in all these meetings.
Well, the Bears should realize that, too, and they should have called up Greg and invited him.
That's what I'm saying.
That's on Kevin Warren. That's on George McCaskey. That's on Ryan Poles.
It's kind of a red flag on the Bears side.
Yes, it totally is.
If we're being honest. All right. Let's change this conversation here a little bit because we do have to talk about free agents here these next couple weeks. I'm excited for it. Nick's all over this, so we thought it'd be a good idea to have Nick share his top 5 free agent targets as it stands right now. Again, a couple dates you should know. Tomorrow is the franchise tag deadline, so we will know by 3 o'clock tomorrow whether or not Jalen Johnson has been tagged or if they're able to work out a long-term agreement. The next big date is Monday. Monday at 11 a.m. Central Time is when agents are allowed to officially negotiate with teams, and that's typically when you start seeing these reported deals come in that agents and teams have agreed to deals that cannot be made official until next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. But we will be here for all of that. A lot of the conversation this week, as much as the draft will still dominate some things, will be about free agency. So we'll kind of move into that direction right now. Nicholas Moreano's top 5 free agent targets. Nick, I think we're going, 5-1 here? Is that the plan?
5-1. All right. We're going to start with a wide receiver, guys, for our free agency. And we're going to start with Curtis Samuel here from Washington, a guy that would, I think, help out a guy like Caleb Williams, 62 receptions last season, 91 targets, 613 yards, 4 touchdowns. On those targets, he only had 4 drops. So that's somebody that's reliable. And I think when you're looking at what the Bears need at the wide receiver position, I think they just need guys that are going to be reliable other than DJ Moore. And he has some versatility for him as well. He had 302 snaps in the slot, 114 out wide. And when you look at his career, 1,362 snaps in the slot, 1,176 out wide. So you can place him throughout the offense. When I was looking at the wide receiver free agency class, I didn't like a lot of the top-end guys. You want to pay a guy like Calvin Ridley, overpay him. Mike Evans just re-signed in Tampa Bay. So I'm going a lower-tier free agent that I think would fit what Shane Waldron wants to do in this offense. He is going into his 8th season, and PFF has him projected on a 2-year, $9 million average. But when I just look at that wide receiver room, you guys, I just think the Bears need reliability, people that can actually run routes. He to me, reminds me of the wide receiver version of Velus Jones Jr., which is ironic because Velus Jones is supposed to be a wide receiver. So Curtis Samuel fits that role for me right here.
So in our fantasy league with my buddies, Curtis Samuel's kind of been a running joke for being kind of the disappointing guy in the league every year. But that doesn't mean he's a bad. This is an example of where a lot of times I actually defend fantasy football because it's the numbers, the production is what matters. And so if you're being productive, you're going to be a good fantasy player. But Curtis Samuel has been one of these kind of next tier guys that you don't necessarily want on your roster. But yeah, numbers are relatively consistent. I mean, he has been at least a 600-yard receiver, as high as 851, going back to 2019 with the one exception of 2021 when he was hurt. So this would be a solid, probably bargain buy type receiver that you probably want like your number 3.
Yep.
If you end up drafting somebody high as well.
2 things I like about Curtis. Number 1, played with DJ. So there's a little DJ Moore connection. Maybe DJ's advocating for him. I'll go 3 things. The price point, depth piece. Let's go there. Most importantly, he shares the same birthday as me.
Wow.
Got to bring him in.
Today's all about the birthdays.
That's right.
Really
I like
is.
it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. How about number 4 on your list?
Yeah, number 4, we're going to go to the defensive side, and I like out of Buffalo, AJ Epinesa. It's not just because he was a former Iowa Hawkeye, but the 6'6", 260-pound defensive end. Had 20 total tackles last year, tied his career high last year also with 6.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, and 8 passes defended. So he's a guy that I see more as a rotational piece. He's not the premium edge rusher that you want opposite of Montez Sweat, but somebody that with this Bears defense, you get those cycles of defensive linemen coming in. And now he could be a good complement to that. And even if he doesn't win his one-on-one pass rush, it's not like he can't impact a play. He does know how to time up passes, get up in the air, deflect passes in the air. And having that connection, too, with Eric Washington, being that he was a defensive line coach last year, with also being the assistant head coach. If he likes A.J. Epinesa, he would obviously give Ryan Poles, this Bears team, the inside information on what he can bring to a football team.
Yeah, this is another one I like. I think the connection with Eric Washington is important to watch. Sometimes that means they don't like him. And so,
True, yeah.
But a lot of times, a lot of the free agents you see a team sign, it's because the coaching connections from the past. We saw it a lot the last couple of years with Luke Getsy and guys like Lucas Patrick and Robert Tonyan that they signed. So something to keep in mind there. I think this is somebody that would be right up the alley of what Matt Eberflus wants at the position, length. He's got long arms. And honestly, I think just being the number 2 opposite Montez Sweat, it could be a really good fit. And again, I don't think we're talking about a guy that's top of the market either, kind of right in that Ryan Poles sweet spot.
I mean, Nick's doing a great job spending the Bears' money conservatively. What he did not say there, of course, why he's on this list is that he went to the same college as Nick did, and that team, of course, beating Northwestern in hoops over the weekend. By the way,
how'd you let that happen?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Maybe because the Cats were missing 3 starters and Iowa played out of their mind. But back to AJ. His dad. His nickname was Nick, and I know you do because you did extensive work on this. His dad's nickname was Epi.
Ooh.
And Epi walked on at Iowa as well. But no, I hope the Bears do address the defensive line both in the draft and in free agency. Let's get some more options in here.
That'd be a good way to approach it. Let's go to number 3 now for me, and we're sticking with the trenches, but upgrading the offensive line. Aaron Brewer, the center from Tennessee, played 1,050 snaps, 5 penalties. And I was actually just watching some of his tape this morning, you guys, against Indianapolis. And you see a guy that plays with aggression, gets his second level, plays fast, stays on his blocks, on
Feisty.
combo blocks.
Yep.
He's a guy that not only makes sure his guy is secure, but he has his head on a swivel to see if anyone's coming backside. So I just think when you're thinking of what can fit in this wide zone scheme that the Bears like to run, Aaron Brewer is a guy that I think would fit really well. He's a little bit undersized, and last year was his really first year playing center, but there's a lot to like in that 1 year. So if you're thinking about guys that can continue to improve and excel at this position, I really like what Aaron Brewer can offer, and I don't think it's going to cost you, top of the market. He is one of the younger guys, but I like what he can add to this Bears offensive line.
Well, they went to Tennessee last year to get Nate Davis. Wait, is this where Haas came from?
Yep, that's exactly where Haas came from.
Our guy Haas, the new assistant O-line coach.
Jason
Hautailing. Yeah. He came from
Connections.
Tennessee. So there you go.
Look, everybody you're naming so far too, they're all in their mid to late 20s. This
Not top of market.
not top of market. This guy's 26. You mentioned his nastiness, which I enjoy. I love stories like this. I mean, Aaron Brewer was undrafted because of his size mostly. So and here he's proven that he can do it. The Bears obviously need help at center. Makes sense. Keep going. Like what you're doing here, Nick. Borderline love it.
Yeah, let's go to number 2 now. Again, sticking with the trenches, but going to the defensive side. Jonathan Grenard from Houston, the 26-year-old defensive end. He finished with 15 games played, 52 total tackles, 12 and a half sacks. And I think he just does a really good job of forcing tackles to miss with their hand strikes and then quickly getting into the backfield. He's known for his spin move, but he has a bull rush. And I just think when you look at how quickly he gets off the ball, that's where he wins. And he's a guy that played really well against the run. PFF had him with a 9.3% run stop rate, which was 8th among qualifying defenders. So he could stop the run. We know that's an emphasis for this Bears defensive line. They got to be able to do that. But he also has that pass rush production as well. And this would definitely be somebody you look at opposite of Montez Sweat. He can get after the quarterback too, and obviously being younger. I remember being at the Combine interviewing him at his podium, just wanting the Bears to get him when they had Khalil Mack back in the day. If the Bears have an opportunity to add him now with Montez Sweat, I think now you're getting, multiple threats, multiple multipliers on this defensive line.
You're getting a little dreamy on this one because the Texans want him back, and I would think he'll end up there. But I listen, dream big. Number 2, why not?
Big.
It's kind of a one-year wonder. Jonathan Grenard, which is one thing, so you have to watch that tape very, very closely. But, this one I wonder where the Bears value him and if there's another team that, might end up outbidding. Maybe it's the Texans.
Or even Houston, yeah.
Yeah, if he's even available. Remember, the guys will re-sign this week. Mike Evans re-signed this morning in Tampa. So some of these guys are going to come off the market.
$35 million guaranteed for Mike Evans.
Got that money. All right,
he
guys.
earned it. I'm not saying that he didn't, but that was
a
lot of dough for an aging dude who had a great season. So maybe he's not aging. I take that back minorly. At some point, he's going to fall off the cliff.
At some point. Maybe not yet. But, Mark, you said dreaming big. This is my dreaming big number one guy that I think if the Bears can land him, they'd be in a way better position if they do. Christian Wilkins from Miami. This is a guy who's an absolute stud in the interior. He did play in a different system with Vic Fangio, but I could see him being a fit at that 3-tech that the Bears desperately still need. Played in all 17 games, 65 total tackles, 9 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 passes defended. He set a career high in pass rush win rate, pressure rate, the sacks, quarterback hits, and pressures. And I just think he would be such a good fit, not only for what he can do on the football field, but I don't know if you guys have watched his mic'd up segments. This guy is all energy all the time, and he is a hustle player. He called himself a 3-level defensive tackle because he makes plays behind the line of scrimmage, at the line of scrimmage, and downfield. So if you're looking at guys that will fit the scheme, fit the system, the hits principles, I mean, Christian Wilkins would absolutely do that. And he would be that dominant 3-tech that, the Bears – Justin Jones played well, but he's not that level of player. Christian definitely would fit that. Now, let's see what the Dolphins. It doesn't seem like they're going to tag him, but if he's able to get on the free agent market and the Bears are really looking to upgrade the interior defensive line, I really like Christian Wilkins, what he could do.
Chat right there. I cannot agree with him more. The Jammer J.
That's a good
Wilkins
comparison.
reminds me of Akeem Hicks. I'm guessing that guy, Jammer J, I'm guessing you watched Hard Knocks, because if you watched Hard Knocks this season, I was getting that vibe watching the features they had on Christian Wilkins. It was one of the more fun parts of the season this year. He's just really entertaining, almost like borderline silly during games. Yeah. One of the funniest features, his teammate, Zach Sealer, could not be more opposite than Christian Wilkins. Like kind of like a white Southern.
That's right.
Like
yes.
burly, lives in a RV, like listens to country music. Like they could not be more opposite people, and they are the best. They have I mean this exact word. They have the cutest friendship I've ever seen between two NFL teammates, and they highlighted it on Hard Knocks. And it was so fun to watch these two guys get along. So I don't know how you come away from that show not loving Christian Wilkins. His tape's good enough. He seems like a great teammate. I'm shocked the Dolphins are not franchise tagging him, but if he hits the open market, this is one of the guys I actually would go all in to get. He's still 28 years old, former first-round talent, very, very good. And I think, yes, there's probably some questions about how he fits into the scheme. Remember, it was more Vic Fangio defense last year, but I think he's one of those guys that transcends schemes, that just is a good football player.
I'm a little disappointed that we busted out the Chris and didn't just stop at Chris and say Chris Jones. I think that is there is rumors that the price point is going to get a little too high for Kansas City, which I highly doubt. I think he's going back to the Chiefs. But if we're talking about dream scenarios here, I thought he'd be your number one. But this would be a great back. If we can't get Chris Jones, which is highly unlikely, and this happened, I would be. I'd be excited,
line, yeah.
Nick. That's a great job by Nick.
It was.
Thank you.
A lot of defense.
Came away with that. A lot of defense. Obviously, I had Curtis Samuel and Aaron Brewer, but I just felt like there were more, and I left out some safeties that could potentially be on there as well. So I think they can find some defensive guys in free agency though.
Draft offense, free agency defense. Maybe a little bit of both.
Well,
Maybe
remember, I mean, what happens here in the next few weeks will help guide the draft conversation a little bit. I mean, one of the positions I'm focused on the most, as long as I mean, as much as I would love to see Jackson Powers Johnson end up on the Bears, especially after dropping the Bears in his interview on Saturday, and apparently to Ryan Poles' face in the meeting room over the weekend.
Come on.
You know, I love that idea, but if the Bears, it would not surprise me if the Bears end up signing a center. I just hope if they do, they go more of like, all right, let's spend real money on the position and not just try to like patch the hole with another Lucas Patrick here.
Yeah,
but you want him to draft a center. Why can't we patch and draft? Patch and draft?
Patch and draft.
double dip.
I like a patch and draft. Hey, PrizePicks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America where you can also patch and draft in some way, shape, or form. The easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy is just you against the numbers instead of battling thousands of other players, including the pros and the sharks like Nicholas Moreano. You pick more than or less than on the 2 to 6 player stat projections, and hopefully you're going to watch those winnings roll right on in. And yes, football season might be over, but don't worry about that. Plenty of stuff going on, whether it's tournament season or the fight for the playoff home court. No shortage of high-stakes hoop moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Conference tournaments are here. Biggest moments in college basketball getting closer. Northwestern going to the Final Four. Be a part of the action on PrizePicks for both men's and women's college basketball. Congratulations to Caitlin Clark passing Pete Maravich. That was another amazing day in college hoops. PrizePicks, really simple to play. I can make my picks, submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. I've been enjoying it myself. This is what you do. You go to prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use that code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use that code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. prizepicks.com/CHGO. Check it out.
And we got a lot of awesome things going on here at CHGO. Obviously, it being the second birthday of our company here, and we got our new merch that we dropped today. CHGOLocker.com. We're wearing it today on the show, our new Chicago collection. Go check it out. I am going to have to get that tavern-style hoodie.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
That one's dope.
If you're listening to the podcast, we literally have the old school. What does the box usually say? Everyone knows what it looks like when you order tavern-style pizza. It's like a universal box that almost every pizza,
hot and delicious,
something like that. But anyway, we've turned that into a shirt. You got to see it if you're not watching the show right now. Go check it out, chgolocker.com. Also, events coming up. Our March 26 Blackhawks takeover at the United Center is almost sold out. Head to our events page at allchgo.com for upcoming Hawks, Cubs, and Sox takeovers in the coming months. Of course, we have pods and live shows on every team every day. 20% off all events. If you become a diehard, you get 20% off merch as well. Now's the time to do it. If you've been on the fence, just today with that new collection we dropped, become a diehard. You get a free t-shirt, first of all, right away. Then you're going to get 20% off all the other merch you're going to want to buy. You can get 20% off tickets to that Blackhawks takeover we're just talking about, and you can get access to my newsletter, which came out this morning. So today seems like a perfect time to do that. And you get access to our members-only Discord, our CHGO Lounge, where we do diehard overtimes as well, and just a lot of great things you're getting right now as CHGO diehard. So go check it out, allchgo.com/diehard.
And shout out to our new diehards. First off, we got Carrie.
What up, Carrie?
So peaceful, so easy. There for you, Carrie. And then we've got Wayne. You're a big Wayne guy, Nick. Great partner. a GOAT, incredibly classy. My guy Wayne. Chris. Hoger. Chris. He's another GOAT. Loyal to a fault. He's a leader. Got the most out of his talents. Just kept going. Kept on ticking like the Energizer Bunny. My guy Chris.
I think Chris is in our chat right now, actually.
What up, Chris?
What up,
Hell
Chris?
yeah, let's go.
I got you, Chris. What about our guy Derek?
Real quick, Chris says, new diehard here. Happy birthday, CHGO. If any of you guys are over for the UK game, get yourselves up to Leeds, and I'll buy you a pint.
Let's go to Leeds.
That's a deal.
There it
Yeah,
is.
we'll take you
Forgetting,
up on that
I know
deal.
the UK map pretty well, but I don't think Leeds is very convenient to London.
We'll make it work.
Okay. Well, we welcome in.
But it is Europe. You can get pretty much anywhere on a train, which is way better in our country.
Never been.
Listen, Chris, I'll be there. I don't care what Hogue just said. I'll be there. Derek, hot like fire.
Rose?
Just absolutely blazed his way. An MVP, youngest to do it. My guy, Derek. And then Kevin.
Kevin.
Another Kevin. Everybody wants to be the head of content. Not everyone can be the head of content, but Kevin, let me tell you something about what you do. You've got a great baseline jumper. You're a tremendous roommate. You drove that Mazda light brown like nobody else did in the history of Iowa City. Kevin, that's right. I'm thinking about you and my original roommate, Kevin. A great, great man. And then Jordan.
Oh,
Jordan.
Jordan.
What can you say about Jordan? First of all, it's the greatest name ever. You are the GOAT. You are better. You're the greatest to play any particular sport. You're a guy that I will go right at a potential draft pick and try to shout him down into existence because I got to do it to you, Trey Knox. Jordan.
That was incredible.
That was hilarious.
He deserved it, and I hope he's a Bear, and I hope we can continue our conversations. But Jordan, you're a GOAT, and now you're a diehard. Welcome, Jordan.
How about the publicity that got? Not that that's what you were going for.
Oh, it's well.
You said put him in his place.
I think I'm trying to remember how that started.
The best part is I think you lost the argument.
You're crazy. You're on crack.
I agree with you. No, I am on your side of the argument.
I understand
think in
it.
terms of like if this is the debate class, he answered your questions. And he knew Jordan's stats off the top of his head. So he was an educated.
He didn't get his stats right. He got them around. They were remotely around. But keep going.
Closer than I would have had him, quite
true.
frankly.
Same.
And you just ignored his questions.
Because they were terrible questions.
Yeah.
you
I didn't ignore them. I stumbled, if we're going to be accurate.
It was a stumble.
And then my teammate to my right just picked up, who were the leading scorers at the time? It's such a weird question. And then the guy next to me said Karl Malone. So I didn't say it. You're right. I could have been better. There's no question that I could have been a little sharper. But
The Malone thing didn't help.
Which
me.
one?
The Malone aspect of like.
So he asked the wrong
Karl
question.
Malone's the fourth all-time leading scorer in NBA history.
Yeah, but he's the mailman, and he got stripped by Jordan, and everything else in his career didn't matter because of that one moment.
All right, so that's not a worthy comment. I hope. Hey, listen.
Not a worthy comment.
I agree.
So yeah, fine. I won. He lost. Jordan, Carm, Bears, CHGO, birthday, year 2. I'm wearing the 2s, by the way. Nobody's commented on that. Just a brilliant move by me. Just bringing everything together. I figured you would say something, Nick, but nothing from you, Mr. Shoe.
We all have red on. I'll have some type of red in our shoe.
Yeah.
Collaborating.
Let's go.
Chemistry.
All right.
Yes.
Stock up, stock down from the Combine. Who we got? I honestly have a lot of this on my DVR. I still got to get through. Try to spend some time with the family. By the way, Monster Jam was awesome. I know you guys were all wondering. Mm-hmm. But stock up, stock down from the NFL Combine. Let's go stock up first, okay? 3 players that we are highlighting here. Rome Odunze, of course. That's Xavier Worthy, who's worthy of having the Y on his name.
These things happen.
Hey man, you run a 4.21. You get your full name on the.
He was so
full screen,
fast.
I think.
Fastest.
He's worth the first-round pick, though.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It's worth drafting Worthy. 4.21.
Fastest in combine history.
That was an awesome moment.
That was. And I know people crap on the Combine, but when you see things like that happen, that's what it's all about.
And
right
actually, it might have been a moment that was worthy of waking Carm up if he had been sleeping there, because actually the crowd got into it.
Yeah.
He was running around. It seemed very cool. I want to go back to Rome Odunze real quick, too, though. look, best press conference of the week, in my opinion, Rome Odunze.
He was awesome.
Did you guys see what happened Saturday night after he didn't reach the number he wanted to on the 3
This
cone?
was great.
Wouldn't leave.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Neither did I.
I didn't know that you could just be like, I don't like my time. I'm going to run it until I get it. But the NFL Network was there. Jimmy Erdahl and Stacey Dales were covering it. They did extra coverage over it, and he was trying to get his number. He didn't get his number. But just the fact that he refused to leave, I mean, that's the type of dedication that really, I think, proves the point. Did it really matter if you're 0.2 off? He ran his 40 in plenty of time. It was like a 4.45, I want to say off the top of my head. That answered that straight line speed question. Rome Odunze, stock up, baby.
Yeah, he was impressive in all aspects, whether it was on the field or in his press conference where he said he definitely couldn't land a plane and all souls will perish, which was an awesome moment.
Comment of the week.
Yeah, no doubt. Rome Odunze, huge fan.
Well, unfortunately for the Bears, by the way, on that stock up, it seems like he's going top 5, top 6, top 7.
I was going to say the Bears actually need to stock down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
to get him to number 9.
So that's not
what a duo, man. I'm telling you right now, if they draft Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze on that first night at the draft party, oh my gosh, you're going to see an Adam Hoge you've never seen before.
Can someone record that? Because I'll be at Hallis Hall and I won't be able to see.
It doesn't seem likely at this point, but you never know. By the way, yeah, okay.
Meanwhile, we also had Dallas Turner stock up as well, measured in.
I mean, a 4.46 40 at the
4.46 40 plus vertical. God. Plus, he's got the longest wingspan anyone's ever seen at the position.
Yeah, 34 and 3/8 inch arms, freakish athlete who can also get after quarterback.
Yeah, a lot of guys I like at 9, and there's some offensive tackles. I
would
not. If you're gonna draft Caleb Williams, man, you got to make sure that
everything's right.
So
intact.
Let's say Rome is gone. Let's say Marvin's gone, and Turner's there at 9. What are you doing?
Wait, say that again.
I'm saying Rome Odunze's gone. I'm saying obviously Marvin's gone.
And Neighbors, the other.
Nope, Neighbors is there.
Oh.
Okay, well that brings us to stock down.
Yeah.
Stock down players because, look, there's some players like Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. that can get away with being picky about what information they're going to give away. I heard this from a couple people that just simply did not like the Malik Neighbors and Jaden Daniels, by the way, they refused to measure. It's one thing not to do the medicals, but they wouldn't even get their height and weight measured.
It's weird.
And that's, I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to make too big of a deal of all this. It's a new era. These guys coming in have all dealt with NIL now. They've had agents for 3 years. It's a different era that we're dealing with at the Combine. But Neighbors didn't work out, but he wouldn't even measure. And I brought this up once before, just my own personal thing. I'm still not trying to make too big of a deal out of it. But I totally understand guys that skip their bowl games. I didn't like how he played in his bowl game until he got the receiving record and then stopped playing. Yeah. It just says I'm about the records. I'm not about winning. It's one thing about, I don't want to get hurt before the draft. It's a meaningless bowl game. And it's just I'm sure he's going to get asked about that in meetings. And I just would be very curious about what his answer is. So
I like talking to him. I thought he was great at his podium. There's nothing not likable there. The not measuring's weird, and that what you just brought up as far as getting the record, that feels more to the athlete of today.
Maybe, and that's
a good point.
That does not mean I'm gonna I'm out on Neighbors. I'm just if the Bears end up drafting him, I still think he's a phenomenal player. He clearly is. Trust me, they were playing Wisconsin in that game. He got that record very fast.
Yeah,
it was not hard because he's very good at football. But we're talking about just the Combine. There are some guys that did really well in the week, and there's others that came out with questions. I just think Malik Neighbors created more questions about himself than answers.
I think too, with those 3 receivers too at the top with Odunze, Harrison, and Neighbors. Would you want your physical measurements to kind of stack up with those? Maybe it can hurt you, maybe it can't, maybe depending on how you look at it. But you're trying to stack with the top guys in the draft. I could see it going both ways, but obviously Neighbors didn't go that route. So So we have
your
him on stock
height
down.
is your height. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
what are you stretching yourself out between now and your pro day to get a little taller? I mean, maybe your weight, I understand.
He's trying to compete with Caleb and showing that if he's not going to do that, then I'm not going to do this because I'm Malik Neighbors. How's that?
Yeah.
There's a terrible take by me. First one ever.
Conspiracy.
But like what? It's weird.
Yeah. All right. We also had Cameron Kitchens on our stock down list. Nick, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, Cameron Kitchens. I mean, I think, well, when you look at his, RAS score, the relative athletic score, he did not test very well at all. He ran a 4.65 in the 40, and he has listed at 5'11", 203 pounds. So he's not the biggest guy, obviously not the fastest guy. Again, this is where maybe you can fall into a trap though, because I think how he plays on film is better than obviously what he's going to test out measure wise, because the instincts are there. He can definitely tackle. He makes plays on the football, but just isn't, I guess, quote unquote, the best athlete. But it doesn't help to run a 4.65 40 in a safety class that's not relatively deep at all. He could have separated himself if he had done better in some of those kind of metrics at the combine, but that wasn't the case. Still really like him as a football player, though.
Let's.
Dynamite drop.
He also worked out with Eddie Jackson. Another thing.
No, it's for real. Yeah, he struggled a little bit. And then we also had Johnny Newton from Illinois on there as well.
Johnny.
Who's going by Johnny?
I would just caution on the stock up and stock down period from the combine to nothing happened in any major way that really should impact dudes shooting up or shooting down. In my opinion,
It wasn't Jalen Carter's combine.
Right, exactly. There was no Jalen.
Ended before it started.
Yeah.
There was no Jalen Carter. Sure. I know that people were like, "Oh, JJ McCarthy wasn't as accurate as he could have been," and same thing with Bo Nix. Showed exactly what he was showed before. Didn't throw the ball well downfield.
He's not good.
It wasn't good, but that's what he's been. Like it's like the same thing. Yeah. So I
I'm
got
not
it.
a Bo Nix guy.
Penix looked great. Best thrower out there. Does that mean he's shooting up? I doubt it. I think they know exactly who he is. So he's not going in the top 3. We heard a ton about Jaden Daniels moving up to number 1. A bunch of people were saying that. I heard it from like different corners late at night. Also, like, actually, from people standing around who should know things. And does anybody actually believe that he's going to go by Caleb Williams? I would be stunned beyond stunned.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Real quickly, shout out to Joe Milton, the Tennessee quarterback. If they just need a guy to throw the deep ball at the combine every single year, can that just be Joe Milton's job? Because cannon.
He was just dropping it with the flick of a wrist like 70 yards.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
The problem with Joe Milton is he doesn't have a different speed.
No, it's that all the damn time.
You could sign him. You could sign him as your Hail Mary quarterback.
Go in there,
That'd be
Joe.
a good job.
Yeah. I mean,
and you don't need to sub Nathan Peterman in there for Tyson Bagent.
I forgot they did that. That happened.
That's the thing that happened.
Oh, God.
Tyson Bagent was getting some love around that combine, by the way.
Why? Because you were asking people about him?
Yes, I was. And not even. I just heard people were saying
Bagent stock up combine?
I think Bagent stock up.
Wow.
QB 1.93. Step up from the 2.
Okay, there you go.
Step to 193, damn it.
It's a little bump. Hey, we got to get to Super Chats, but we got plenty more at CHGO Sports on our second birthday. Mike Talkman already been told he'll make the opening day roster for the Cubs, despite also re-signing Cody Bellinger. The CHGO Cubs are coming up at 3:30 to discuss that and more. 5 o'clock, CHGO White Sox recap on their tune-up against the Diamondbacks. Sox get their first look at offseason pickup. Mike Soraka in that one. We've got a pair of pre-games tonight, starting with the CHGO Blackhawks 7:30. Hawks play at home against the Avalanche. Bad Blood Brewing after what happened with Connor Bedard slashing the wrist the other night. Nick Foligno already hinted at some revenge.
My God.
Now we're getting delivered pizza here on our birthday. This is just great. It feels like a second birthday for all of us that we all get. We got post game tonight with the Hawks as well. 9th place Bulls hit the road to play the Kings. Peck, Big Dave, and Will have pregame at 8:30. Late post game show immediately following.
All right. Shout out to our great partner, Salerno's. We got the Chicago style. No, I'm not struggling. I'm doing a great job. I don't want to lose the pizza.
That looks amazing.
I mean, does that not look amazing? Seriously.
What do we got on there? Green
you want to go? You want to go first there, Hoagie?
Sausage, green peppers. Yeah. What could be more Chi-town than that?
There it is. It's the.
I'm gonna go small little corner piece just because I have to
talk
here.
Good idea.
I just got to talk still.
Okay.
I think I didn't get a pepper on there, but
right
whatever.
here. Let's get the full deliciousness.
Wow.
There you go. Here you go, Nick. You can have the whole box, buddy.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
If this goes like the first episode of Tavern Style, then that entire pizza will be gone by the time we actually get done with the show.
Yeah, there you go. There.
You lost all the topping there.
Yeah, just get the hands in there.
Yeah,
lick that finger. Go ahead. There he is.
I'll show.
Well, you got to do it.
Did he just say what I think he said?
Lick that finger.
Yes,
he did.
Come on, get involved.
Something else in there, I thought. Okay.
So fresh.
All right. Super chats. We got a lot of them.
All right, I'll
We got
start.
17 of them.
Let's go. I got you.
Oh my gosh, it's delicious.
Eat your corner piece there, Hogue. Number one is our guy Craig Leach. $20, my
go,
guy.
Craig.
Cheers from Chesterton, the Bears. Hey, Craig, we appreciate it.
You're amazing.
Double chat for you. $5 from my guy Bear Down Omaha. Congrats on 2 years. Excellent combine coverage. Any early odds for Carm's random undrafted white dude man crush for 2024? Hit the like button. You know what?
I'm working on a separate draft board for that.
This whole thing that I prefer white guys is got to stop. That is a falsitude and an inactitude and an upsetitude.
Can we get
that is I am not that guy. Thank you very much.
I want McConkey.
Okay, and I don't have anybody for you.
McConkey's legit though.
I don't have. I will get there. Don't you worry. When is the
next 50 or whatever?
No. When is the Beast coming out? What's the date on that thing?
I don't know. I don't write that. Dane Brugler does.
I know, but you celebrate the day that it comes out, so you probably have a countdown going on over
It's
there.
usually early April. He spends all of March. He goes into a deep cave. He refuses to do any interviews in March.
Fine, I won't do
which
it.
he should do.
I'll do it without Brugler.
So I'm saying he should refuse to do them so he can get the Beast done. The faster we all get the Beast, the better we all are in life.
Yeah, I need the Beast, but forget it. I'll have one for you tomorrow. How's that?
Your own Beast?
No, my own undrafted
White guy?
I'm not. I don't choose my favorites by color. Thank you very much. I it's more their history, and their journey and who they are as a person.
That's right.
I see color, unlike some people out there like, I don't see color. No, of course I see color because everybody sees color. But I'm not going to choose who my guy is.
Let's
based
stop
on,
talking now. Let's
David
Which is
Galvez,
really, it's offensive
$1.99
comment.
super
You're
chat.
making me the white guy,
Summer
dude.
of the Bears. Love CHGO.
White guy, dude.
Thank you,
That-
David.
Got you out of that.
Everything that's been said about me, that one's the most upsetting. Continue on. Go ahead.
I did.
We did.
White
We
guy,
already
dude.
said hi to
Summer of the
David.
Bears. Love
White guy,
CHGO.
dude.
Thank you, David Galvez. And thank you for getting us out of that rant there.
Tito. Are you next? Tito.
Yos?
$10 from Tito.
The Bears were amongst the league in total. Total pressures on the QB. The wide receiver worst in the league in separation in the league. But yeah, let's get another QB. Why would you not? Sorry, it's really hard to read from all the way over here.
I got you.
Why would you not want to trade and build? Is the question. Is Justin Fields that bad?
I don't think. No, it's not that he's not. It's not that he's that bad.
It's
but
that they think the other one is that great.
there you go. Yeah.
And by the way, so does the rest of the league.
Come on, man.
That's why everyone wants the number one pick, and that's why only a couple teams are trying to get Justin.
I mean, the Bears
They're
put
not
themselves.
even, and they want Kirk Cousins ahead of Justin.
Yeah. They put themselves in this position, and now they have a chance to draft a guy like Caleb.
It wouldn't be happening if they didn't have the number one pick. Period. End of story. I mean, maybe it would be if they had 2 and 3. But
Based on what I reported earlier in the show.
okay, fine. It wouldn't be happening
I mean,
if they weren't
J.J.
at the top.
McCarthy at number 9 might still be happening.
Okay, well, that's not okay. Fine.
All right, Phil Unin, $5. What are your guys' thoughts on signing Saquon Barkley for 2 years to bring some additional firepower for Caleb? He turns negative yards to 30 yards. This is a guy I would love to get.
I'm not against this. We touched on this slightly last week. I don't think we're talking enough about the idea of signing a free agent running back. I think the Bears took a step back at the position last year. I think they missed David Montgomery. My argument for doing this.
Don't worry about that. Your argument for doing this is
You spill more things than my sister.
no spill. There's nothing in it.
Nobody spills more things in life than my sister.
nothing in it. Nothing in it. Nothing in it.
Hopefully Caitlin Hoge's not watching right now. Now I lost my train of thought.
Your argument.
The Bears, spending money on a running back
Yes.
is a luxury. 100% is a luxury. But if there's one team in position to do that, it's the Bears, because you could sign him, even if you give him decently big money the next 2 years, that doesn't kill you in the future. It's not a long-term contract. Second year could be like half guaranteed, something like that. That's the running back market in today's age. I'm not saying it's the smartest decision, but it's something I'm not going to criticize if they go out there and do that. I think they could. Adding Saquon Barkley would be a huge addition in this offense and take more pressure off the quarterback.
Okay, you just nailed it at the end. First of all, the Bears don't have enough playmakers on offense, so how are you going to get one? If you can get a running back on what you consider a relative value, even if the wisdom right now is to not do that, I'd be all in on it, because I would love to take pressure off the quarterback. I would love to get another playmaker in here. I would look around and see that we literally have two in DJ and Cole. So it makes a lot of sense to me to be very interested in Saquon Barkley and where that market goes.
Enough said.
All right, Nathan, $9.99. Congrats on 2 years at CHGO. Just because hashtag diehard. Cheers from Grand Rapids.
Oh,
Appreciate you, Nathan.
Grand Rapids, one of my favorite places on my way to tennis camp each summer that Hoge didn't let me go on last year. We're going to have to work on that this summer.
What was that? What was the reasoning for that? Was it the Indie Week? No, that was camp.
It was camp.
Whatever you call it. What'd you call it? K-Man?
Camp. As
No,
Braggs called it.
What did Braggs call
He
it?
called it Camp Neba Gay Man.
Oh, that's what it was.
Nebagamon.
The bag.
That's in Austin, August. Tennis camp is in mid-July.
Oh, that's in Florida when you hang out with the 80s.
No, it's. I just said I go by Grand Rapids.
Oh, Grand Rapids. That's not on the way to
It's
Florida.
on the way to the UP, Boyne Mountain. My guy's up there. I'm going this summer. Thank you. Continue on.
Okay.
We have two super chats.
Why
from
did they
Super
let you
Cougar.
go?
You gave because I couldn't go the first week this year, and you put it on me, and you were right. You're really going to miss training camp? I'm like, okay, fine. I'm not going to miss training camp or tennis camp. That'd be a bad decision for my career. I'll miss tennis camp this year, even though it's my favorite week of the entire year. But I was dedicated to you, to me, to Steven, to Kevin, to Jake. CHGO, that's right.
Football is your favorite thing, though. Make football your favorite
That's
thing.
right.
Yeah.
$5 super chat here from Super Cougar. Also sent us another one earlier with no message. This one says, trade pick 1 for pick 2 and take Jaden and get Malik Neighbors, and let's do it the Cincinnati way, meaning Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Also 2 LSU guys.
Interesting.
Jaden and Neighbors. Okay.
I mean,
No offense, but
I don't know how I feel about Jaden Daniels.
Joe
just to be
Burrow's tape's
completely
some of
honest.
the best tape I've ever watched.
Yeah.
I do not see that when I'm watching Jaden Daniels. Great talent. He's going to help somebody out fast.
Yeah.
He is tiny,
He's tiny Justin Fields is what he is, in my opinion.
tiny.
Kentucky Bears fan, $4.99. Why do we always say Justin handled the media so well? He was mopey, visibly never wanted to be here, blamed coaches, and said fans don't put in work. I think that's a little harsh, but I think it is fair to point out it hasn't been perfect.
Yeah. Hasn't put in work. I don't remember that, but
Look, he said a bazillion nice things about Bears fans, so don't go down that road.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. The last thing he ever did was cause any problems for the franchise. He was first class this entire time here. Come on, let's not do that.
We have Craig here, $20 super chat, 49 likes, 1,300 viewers. Come on, people, the Bears, let's go CHGO. I agree with
You
Craig.
did send this a while ago. We're up to 346 likes now, but that's still not enough. We still
Appreciate
have
you, Craig.
1,300 watching.
Thanks to Craig bringing it up.
That's his second super chat, and I saw he just sent in another. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Craig, you're amazing.
Also, we're 229 subscribers away right now.
Okay, we're getting
we're
there.
tracking.
We're
Let's
inching
go.
away. Got
Let's
a
go.
chance by the end of today.
Yep.
I'd love to share that information on tomorrow's show. When Braggs is back here.
Shocking. Shocking.
This
Tim-
one, I think this was supposed to be one of those like Bitmojis you could send on YouTube, but they don't actually come through the right way. So this is pair character lifting some weights saying keep it up. This is probably in regards to our subscriber goal here of 50,000.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Appreciate it. Your boy Biggie is up next, $4.99.
Just a goat right here.
I saw this one earlier. I like this one. Hoge, I'm scared to get excited about Caleb. I have what Carm calls PTBD.
That's right.
Bear down with saving my first super chat for a playoff win, but this will do. Great show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your boy Biggie. And I actually thought about this last week when you first brought up PTBD, which refreshed anybody who might have missed that show last week.
Post-traumatic Bears disorder.
Right. Which you were saying in terms of Justin Fields.
Yes, when you have to play quarterback for the Bears and deal with the incompetencies that seem to always exist up front or with your
Nick needs a napkin. He's bleeding.
Sauce.
Or he has sauce all over.
that's the way it goes for Nick. That's
All right,
what
you're
that's what pants are for.
You're taking too long with this explanation. What I was going to say was, I think this is what Bears fans are suffering from.
PTBD?
Those that can't get on the Caleb Williams train,
Yeah.
like your boy Boogie. Wow, that was a drop and a half.
You are officially cut from the softball
Poor
team.
combine performance from Moreano there.
Put Nick on the stock down list
Well,
after
we're-
dropping that napkin.
Yeah.
That went-
We'll keep him for his good
and
attitude.
put
but he's
Steven on the
catching.
stock up. That was a dot.
That was like Milton-esque.
It was
Did you see the
perfect.
distance
I
on that?
messed
It's a little
up.
paper
That's on
towel.
me.
I wish we had replayability because that went right into Nick's hands. We could slow-mo it, just show the drop.
How's your softball ability there, Steven?
I played one game 2 seasons ago. No errors.
Hey, that's good. That's positive.
Took
No
a
errors?
walk.
I don't know if we need another
He's
nine
on the
hitter.
team for next year.
I didn't like
9
that
hitter.
answer.
I'll be hitting ahead of you. Who the hell you think you're talking to, Carm? Let's go.
Oh, and he's got the
Whoa.
Yeah.
confidence.
Whoa.
First of all, I'm the manager. You will not speak to me that way.
Give the manager
Stay in the
to
dugout,
Sarah.
manager.
Second of all, okay, if you could hit,
I could hit.
you just said no errors, which
No. I didn't
that's
have
a
any
big
errors.
thing.
Well, I took a walk, so I can't really say much about
You
that.
tried to give
No,
Sarah the
Walks are
manager
helpful to
duties.
get on base,
I,
man.
I like people who make you find the strike zone. Certainly,
how I
Nicholas
play it.
Moreano doesn't do that. Swing away.
I don't ever swing until I have at least one strike on me.
I just need to make a little contact, and my speed will make up for it because I'm so damn fast.
I'm like Joe Mauer. I
mean-
watch that first pitch no matter what.
Nick did play with a broken finger last year, so that was tough.
Yeah.
Can we get to Yoshino, please?
Yeah, $10 for
You're the one
Yoshino.
talking about softball.
Change is something we all have to accept. I love Fields, but I understand the situation, how they're going at this. I trust Poles putting Fields in a good place, like he stated.
There it is, Yoshino. Thank you very
yeah.
much.
Thanks, Yoshino.
Son of
Gore?
Gore?
Or
Come on, he's been Son of Gore is a regular. You gotta know Son of Gore by now.
son of soul. Happy birthday, CHGO Carm.
For President of the United States.
Thank you.
Wow, even I knew that one.
Well, no, I knew that. I wanted Carm to read it. But a Doomsday at 9.
I am thinking about running, just because I want all
Why
the
not?
power. Let's go. No, I love to help.
The only thing Carm is president of is Braggs.
Speaking of
He doesn't
brags,
have to come back.
Yeah,
tomorrow,
speaking
does
of
he?
brags, right here.
is
$2.
Carm,
See
is
what I did
Carm
there?
older than the city of Chicago?
He spent $2 to get that insult in.
I mean,
That's amazing.
Braggs
que-
literally pays his salary here.
the question is, has the things on Braggs' face been there for the entire 2 years of CHGO? That's a better question. And will they ever leave in the next 2 years? Has anybody heard of soap? My guy Pizzatola, $5. Happy anniversary, CHGO. Can't believe I've made it through 2 years of Carm. You're my guy, Pizzatola. Hoge, you're the voice of the Bears for me. Keep up the awesome work.
Thank you, Pizzatola. Yeah,
That's
Carm
right.
wasn't here at the start. It's only been 18 months at Carm.
They made the brilliant move of not bringing me in at the start so they could get off the ground and then just like, let's see if we can let's see if this guy can ruin us.
Believe it or not, I'm in year 16 of Carm.
Wow.
That's true.
Yeah. Some of us are survivors.
Hey, listen, it's been no picnic over here, buddy.
Dan Evans, $20. Happy birthday, CHGO. Let's hope that the next 2 years we talk about the Bears being the number 1 team instead of having the number 1 pick.
Oh, Dan.
That would be a breath of fresh air, Dan. We would love that.
We're the next Chiefs, Dan. Don't you worry.
Oh, boy.
It's a lofty statement.
Marco,
like
$2.
That's birthday day.
Hogue, neighbor's coach pulled him from the game. No. I don't know. I doubt it. If a player wants to play in a bowl game, they can play him. It was like in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Marco,
Polo.
we'll work on it. But regardless, we appreciate the super chat.
Our guy Craig, he's back with a $20 super chat. This is for Bragg's next suit. Oh.
Is that 3 $20 super chats from Craig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craig is on it today. Let's
Greg's
go.
the new Duke.
I mean,
Did somebody say Duke?
Oh!
Whoa.
It's almost like Hogue's doing this on purpose.
what about that horrible shirt that Bragg was wearing? Maybe we could use that $20 for that at Kohl's, where he shops. 1999, the Duke. I love Kohl's too, by the way, just not for dress
Kohl's
shirts. So if Caleb isn't great and we missed out on the generational haul, Pole's punishment will be getting fired. What about you guys? Do we get to throw tomatoes at you guys in a future show? Are you saying that you want to throw tomatoes at us, Duke, if Caleb stinks? We're just reporting what's going to happen, Duke. You know this. Come on now.
Tomatoes.
Also, the alternative is way worse, which is if they pass on Williams and he becomes the next Mahomes.
No, but
And then you did that again.
well, then the people that don't want the Bears to draft Caleb would say, well, he never would have been good here, so he's only good there, and that's why that happened in Bears.
Yeah. And then which is part of the whole Bears.
And instead of tomatoes, Braggs has actually brought up once before a possible event of having people throw meatballs at him.
Yeah.
So
Which I'm
don't,
all
don't
for.
rule it out. Don't rule it out.
I'm all for, but under the only condition is they have to be frozen meatballs.
Why not just throw rocks at that point?
Yeah, the rocks. That would hurt.
Seth, $20. Big shout out to Will and Nick. Been a subscriber since the Bears
There it
Bros.
is.
Chicago Audible days. Very proud of CHGO and the growth. Happy 2 years, everyone.
That's
Thank you
awesome.
so much, Seth. Appreciate you, man.
It's when I first met Nick. He was hosting, and I had him on a former podcast of mine. Great podcast, by the way.
Great podcast.
And then I said, who the hell is this Nick guy?
I said
Let
the
me go
same
get-
thing about Mark Carman.
Dude was coming in hot. He's bringing the fire. And then I learned he was a Hawkeye and a demon.
Ebony Sales, $20. The closest
adorable.
you get to a KC situation is draft Caleb Williams and sign Russell Wilson. Waldron with Russ again is probably the best passing offense statistically that we've ever seen in Chicago and the best way to train a rookie. Guys, you in on the Russ talk here?
1 year Russ, sit Williams.
I mean, I doubt Russ does that, but no.
I think there's a 90%
I mean,
chance that Caleb Williams is the starting quarterback for the Bears week 1.
I don't understand what people don't realize. Tyson Bagent will teach whoever comes in here to get him to the next level the way Bagent rose up through the ranks to start 4 games his rookie year, go 2-2, earn the respect of his offensive coordinator. Tyson Bagent will be the ideal backup for whoever the quarterback is. We don't need Russell Wilson.
That was really well said.
Ebony.
There was a quick moment there where I thought Kevin Kadick was coming to rip you off.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was like,
I thought, well, I've been doing it for an hour and a half now. Hey, that was a fun show. Well, one more super.
one more.
Alex, $5 of the Bears get Caleb, and he's a bust. Will the media go easy on them? Like they would say the Bears should have never taken Caleb. You'll never hear me say that.
no, you take the
It's like,
swing and
I will never say they shouldn't have taken Justin.
True, yeah. The time that was the right move. No.
we're not. I don't know what the hell will be said if he stinks because people will say a million different things.
That would be such a disastrous situation.
But it would be wrong. Hindsight, foresight, the whole thing. If if it doesn't work out, they're like the Bears were completely idiotic for taking Caleb Williams. That would be unfair.
And by the way, no one's gonna root against Caleb.
That benefits
This is all said and done, and he's on the team. I don't even fully agree with Braggs that people will boo the pick.
He thinks they're gonna boo the pick?
Yeah, did you listen to the show last week?
No, I didn't.
He said that to Mike Florio.
Okay,
I think once Fields is traded and everyone has to, in that scenario, I think then people will just come to terms with, okay, well, now we have to take Caleb Williams. And that's why they wonon't boo the pick.
The only way it'll get booed is if come draft day, there's still like a realistic scenario where
I don't think there's booing.
They keep Justin, but like I don't
see any booing for
I think
Caleb.
even if there's a weird scenario where he's still on the roster, everyone's going to know what the outcome's about to be.
Yeah.
Wherever, when we're at Joe's and Weed for the draft party, or they'll, come on, no one's booing.
Danny, 1023, 499. What if every team that needs a quarterback gets what they need and there's no option for Justin? What does polls do? Well, let me tell you something about that, Danny. There's no way that every team's going to get what they need at quarterback because every year there's 60 quarterbacks that end up starting in the NFL.
Yeah, but
half the teams are unhappy.
But there could be a situation where no team is looking at him as we want Justin to come in or be their starter. And I think it is a legit question. Do they just take whatever is out there? Like, would they take a third-round pick just to get rid of him? Because they wouldn't want to have the situation with both those guys here.
Yes, I think that would be what would happen. But
okay.
Eventually, you're going to reach a point in the quarterback market where a team's going to go, wait, I can have Justin Fields for a third-round pick and a couple $1 million.
Let me take a swing here.
Yeah.
What's the third round?
I'm not saying that they won't
where
get
they don't even pick up the fifth-year option. It's just like...
Right, but originally it was like maybe you get a first, and then for a second we heard that the Atlanta at 8 might want him, which did feel ridiculous even at that time. Now it's a day 2 pick, but we're not exactly sure because where's Kirk Cousins going to land? And if that swings, I think he's going to end up in Minnesota, but that swings differently, then the market gets more limited, and maybe it is just a third-round pick or even lower than that. Would they at that point would they think, you know what, screw it, the locker room will be the locker room, we're going to keep him. Because there is a chance that we'll be wrong or he'll get hurt or whatever. I'd sign up for that. I wouldn't give him away for a 4th-round pick or a mid-third just to get rid of him. Look, but I think they will.
I ended my newsletter with this today. I'm going to end the show with this. Everyone's going to need a little bit of patience here for at least another couple weeks. Maybe even less than that. The Bears, us, fans, Justin, things need to play out here. Kirk Cousins could sign with the Vikings by the end of today. Baker Mayfield could sign with Tampa by the end of tomorrow. And then who's the next guy on the list? Then maybe the window reopens for Justin getting traded this week. It's possible. But it's also possible that that doesn't get sorted out till next week. But it's going to happen. Things are going to start moving quickly. It does.
Patience.
It's going to be okay.
Patience.
Hurry up, but don't rush. Happy birthday, but don't think there's not going to be many more. Have pizza, but also eat your vegetables.
This is one of the top 5 weirdest Carm shows.
What was that?
Tyson Bagent, but think about a veteran. Brownies, but don't forget the ice cream.
Oh, that explains.
Somehow I think brownies were involved in this.
That's what happened today. I understand now. Okay, we'll be back at noon. We'll get Carm some help.
Sidewalk show coming up. I'll be in the Die Hard chat.
Are you doing Die Hard overtime right now?
Going Die Hard OT. I need more.
Die Hard OT with Carm
here.
experience. I'm going to go eat some more pizza from Salerno's, and we'll talk to you tomorrow at noon. Braggs will be back. If we get to 50K,
225 away right now.
I think we can do it. If we get to 50K by noon tomorrow, I will reveal that information. Otherwise, I'm not going to reveal it ever.
That'd be so
With
disappointing.
that, talk to you tomorrow at noon.
We all silly like the mayor.